get them in the evening too. I get the blues in the morning. How about you? I get that lonely, lonely feeling they call the New London Blues. I get the lonely, lonely feeling they call the New London Blues.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another LOT show. This is episode 4,672. No, I'm just kidding. And Larry's been here for every one. Okay, folks. As you know, I'll say it again for about the 1,000th time.
I guess we did start them.
Yeah, you did.
15 years ago.
You're one of the originals.
Yeah.
15 years this group's been at it. What a battle. So anyways, LOT stands for Looking Out for Taxpayers. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at the Senior Center at 7 o'clock. Anybody's welcome to come down and join us. Come down with your thoughts, with your gripes, to listen. You don't have to be a paid member. If you want to be a paid member, it costs you $10, and that just gives you voting privileges because there are things that the group does where it requires a vote of the group to do them. Let me see, what am I forgetting? That's it for now, I guess. We do have a page. Oh, I know what I wanted to say today. LOT is on Facebook. LOT has his own Facebook page, as some of you probably already know. And I'm one of the people who monitor it, for lack of a better word. And I've been noticing lately that we've been getting a lot of hits. Hits is when people come in and check them out, and I know you guys all know that too, but I'm a real rookie at this stuff. So it makes me feel good when I say stuff like that. And right now I think we're up to about 84 hits, somewhere around that. So if any of you out there that are watching is one of them 84, I've requested and I've written on the page many times about we would like to meet you guys. We might like to meet as many of you as we can. We'd like you to come to a LOT meeting, introduce yourself. After all, you know, looking out for taxpayers isn't singling out one group. It's everybody in the city, whether you're a homeowner, whether you're on a fixed income, whether you're on some kind of assistance, you're paying taxes in some way or another. So every time it goes up, it's true that maybe the homeowner takes the biggest brunt of it, but you're still going to pay some more, whether you know it or not, whether you realize it or not. So, and if you're watching this show tonight and you're one of those 84, call in. I see it in writing, but I haven't heard anybody, and I haven't seen anybody. So it'd be nice to just see and hear from some of you folks that have been checking out the page. Okay, I have a quote here that I want to read, and I'll let it go for a while, and I'm hoping that somebody out there will recognize who this quote's from and call into the show. Okay, it says here, the quote is, "I see it not so much as spending, but investing in it." All right, I got to explain something. This has to do with the new education budget. Somebody's speaking on that. It says, which is 43.5 million somewhere, give or take 100,000 or two. It says, "I see it not so much as spending, but investing in the city. There is much waste in the city budget. The council should be looking at where to cut spending." Now, if you know who said that, please call the show, because when I read this, I burst out laughing. And once you realize the rest of the story, you'll know why I was laughing. Larry, how you doing?
As little as possible.
Yeah, but you can't
Trying to retire.
No, you can't retire.
I can't retire.
No, you can't retire.
But,
you can take a break,
or
or as you like to call it, a sabbatical.
no, that's
But-
Dr. Hayes' word. I can't do that. But,
So you're looking like Larry King
did-
tonight.
yeah.
You all right?
I went to the Finance Committee meeting the other night.
Yeah, how was that? What time did it start?
6 o'clock.
Well, see, somebody was telling me 7, but anyways.
No, I told you 6.
Yeah.
I thought I did.
Well, it was up in the air, really.
But that's the first time I was there, and I really don't know anybody there. You know, I don't know
Yeah, you
who
gotta-
they are sitting up there, but near as I could tell, there could have been more, but there was only four people at the table. So I don't know if there was only 4 members showed up, but 3 of them were in favor of raising taxes to cover the education budget, and just one of them was against it, saying, we've been paying and paying and paying, it's time for a sabbatical, more or less, but he was against it. He said if there was some unforeseen money coming in, we could probably earmark it for the education budget, but he said, as it is, no, we shouldn't do it. Then there was a couple of fellas that belonged to the, what do they call it, city center district?
Yes, yeah.
You know, the businesses
Yep.
downtown. And they made the statement that if they go through with raising the taxes, they're going to try and do what they did last time when they went to raise the taxes.
Yeah, well, basically, last time they were
But-
telling them that, you know, they were gonna have to move.
And so I guess that's what they're planning on telling them this time. Now, the mayor was there. I recognize him.
Who was the councilors that were there? Do you remember?
Well, I didn't even turn around to see who was behind me, but when I went in, I didn't see any counselors, I guess, except the one sitting up in the finance committee. Mayor said he was against it. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he said right from the time he was electioneering and campaigning.
Yeah,
that
well,
he was
his
going to be
budget-
again. Now, but it doesn't, to me, that's just a political move on his part, looking to pad his resume. Because before he was mayor, he was on the city council, and he voted for the biggest raise in taxes that we had in the last 15 years under Finenzio. Remember?
Yeah, but-
Finenzio's
yeah, you're
term,
right.
Finenzio's term of 4 years, taxes went up 25%. Well, for me, they went up 50%. So that's how bad it was for us. But the other 25% was, Finenzio said if he was reelected, the next 4 years, he was going to raise the taxes no more than 2.5% a year.
Yeah,
But
that,
actually, after 4 years, I explained it over and over again. That's not 10%, that's 25%. So I think that's one reason why he didn't get reelected. But it seems kind of strange to me to have Passero vote for that big tax jump. You know what? Just 2-3 years ago,
yeah, something
and now
about
he said,
that.
"Oh no, we're not gonna. We're going to be against it." Now I can't remember what the finance director. Oh, I guess I did recognize him a bit. Said they
You're talking about the new finance director or
Oh,
the
well,
consultant
no, I don't know the
finance
new one at
director?
all. So this has to be the old
Oh.
one that is. I'll get back to you
Yeah.
every time you ask me a
He's
question.
still, last I knew, he's still on the payroll.
Yeah. He said the proposed mill rate was 39 point, that part I forgot.
No, that
I'm
doesn't
guessing
matter.
about 69. But then I was thinking, which of course I didn't remember at the time, this other article in the paper a little while ago. It says, New London grand list rises, because EB tax exemptions expire. And it says, the grand list, where the heck was it? well, I wrote it down. The grand list rose.
It rose.
3.54%. So it rose 3.5%. The grand list. Let's see. It says the personal property here. I didn't rose over 6%, 6.27%, from 105 million to 111 million.
The property taxes rose?
No, that's the personal property rose 6.27%, from 105 million to 111 million. So there's another 10 million that they can, collect taxes on personal property. And, let me see. Oh, the taxable assessment. 1.3 billion. It's up 44 million. So now we're talking, 55 million? So grand list went up 55 million. So why should there be a mill rate increase to pay for the proposed school budget?
I'm starting to think this grand list is just a wish list.
No, the grand list is the amount of money they put as the value of the property in town.
For what reason? For bonding purposes?
No, for taxing purposes.
Okay,
Just
so,
like
all right, but wait a minute.
Your
wait a minute,
house is on the
wait a
grand
minute.
list.
Wait a minute, I know it is, but wait a minute.
Okay.
The grand list, the last time I looked, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was in the billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, my first thought was, and my lack of knowledge maybe, was, well, if we're in the billions, why do we have money issues?
Yeah.
And somebody tried to explain it to me, went right over my head. But we gained another $55 million
That's in value.
in value, but what good is it if it's in value, but it doesn't relate over to
Well, no.
helping the city? How is this? How is $1
Well,
billion
no, it's
plus
50
help this city?
It's $55 million value that now they can tax.
But who?
But who?
Who
is
are
it?
they taxing?
I just told you, EB has lost some of their tax exemption.
I
So their value went up.
So are you
up
telling me?
3.5%.
Are you telling me that this year, with the grand list going up $55 million, that's actual money, or it's not actual money?
No, that's value.
It's wish money.
No, that's value. What they,
So what good is it if we're not getting any money out of it?
well, they are. They will tax that. They will tax it. Now,
Okay, so if you're saying they'll tax it, then you're telling me that when they tax it, the city is taxing it.
yeah.
So when they tax it, the city next year, or whatever year, is gonna turn around and have $55 million.
Not 55 million. No. Just
Oh, they're
the-
gonna tax
just the
the-
taxes
of
from
55.
55 million.
Okay, so that's still gotta be a lot.
Well, yeah, I didn't look at this before. I would have tried to figure it out at home a little bit. No, but that's why I say if the grand list went up 3.5%, why would the mill rate go up?
Really, it shouldn't go up. We got money coming in.
Yeah.
Gotta be more than $1.
Yeah. So, that's a question I wish I had remembered and asked them.
Did you
the
speak?
other night? No, because that was the first time I went to one of those. I didn't know you had to sign up to speak ahead of time, like the city council, and you speak and they ignore you, the same as the city council. It's pretty much the same thing, because the ones in charge, they're going to do what they want to do, no matter what. But see, they say now, he also read a whole list of instructions, more or less. He says, whatever we decide in real life is only a suggestion to give to the city council.
Well,
The
it
city
sounds like-
council, the city council decides if they're going to follow that suggestion or
Sounds
not.
like the finance board,
Well, it is finance board
which
committee.
which is made up of supposedly school members, people from the school system,
No,
city
this-
council,
This was called just a
and
committee.
the finance committee.
This was just called a committee.
Oh, okay.
So, up at the head table, it was only 4 people.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many were missing.
Was Funk up there? You know Robert Funk? He just got a nice job with the school system.
Oh, maybe he's the leader of it.
I-
I don't remember what he looked like.
Beard?
Yeah,
Yeah, that might have
Yeah.
been him.
okay, all right. Yeah, name's
Nice
familiar,
guy.
yeah.
I just
Yeah,
don't know if he's good enough for $142,000 plus benefits, but hey, I don't know.
well, he can't keep getting that money if the taxes don't go up. So of course he's gonna be in favor of that.
They'll find
You
a
know,
way. You know
that's
what they're
just-
gonna do. You know
that's-
what the school system will do if they don't get the money they want.
Yeah.
He won't lose his job.
No,
They'll take it from something else from the kids.
oh, yeah, yeah,
No administrators will lose their jobs.
yeah,
If anything, they'll find a way to hire a couple
yeah,
more,
yeah.
and they'll take it away. Little things like, okay, I got a question.
Uh-oh,
In the past, when the school has had to cut money, some of the first places they cut it from is sports, music, all the things the kids enjoy, a
Yeah.
lot of it, okay?
yeah,
Maybe some jobs, low rate, like
Yeah.
janitor,
Yeah.
teachers, things that aren't that important. And I'm being flip.
yeah,
All right, so now, with our whole new magnet school system, which is made up of dancing, arts, theater, so if they have to cut back, are they gonna cut back those kind of things? I mean, now it's part of the whole school system. I mean, they're running on that.
yeah,
All these magnet schools are running on these kind of theories. This is what the schools are going to be. They're going to help a 7 or 8 year old kid decide if he wants to be a dancer or an actor or those high paying jobs that
oh,
they,
yeah,
they have in our world.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
can't get enough dancers,
yeah,
can't get enough actors,
no,
musicians. Christ, they make a ton of money.
yeah,
I've never seen a poor musician anywhere.
no.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, yes.
Yes, I have,
On the
yeah.
street corners in New York
I was
City.
a poor musician once. What am I talking about? But I mean, this is what they usually cut. So what are they going to do now?
yeah.
If they have to cut from the schools in the future, let's say we make it through this whole magnet school situation, and they have to cut. Where are they going to cut this time? Will they actually maybe have to cut from the administration?
Never,
They can't cut classes out.
yeah,
The state wouldn't allow it.
yeah,
Neither would the federal government.
yeah. Yeah, but,
Who was the one counselor that was against raising it at that meeting? Was it a counselor? Did you say it was a counselor?
no,
Oh,
no,
oh, I thought you
somebody
said-
that I never saw, someone I didn't recognize, I'm not around there that much to
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to one of them either.
know who these people are.
Sometimes you get to those
Right.
things and for me anyways, they're talking so many
Yeah.
numbers and so much.
But you know how they learned to cut out
I hung up on
music
Karen
and
last
art.
time. I tell her to call back.
Who?
Karen Paul, I hung up
Oh,
on her. Tell
Ka-
her to call back.
Karen, can you call back, please? Thank you.
Oh, you were talking and you didn't notice?
She hung up on her.
Oh, she hung
The
up.
voice hung up on her.
Oh, okay. All right. Where was I? See, threw me off track now.
We were talking about the finance
Oh, yes,
meeting.
where the school got the idea, what they're going to cut is what most of the people are interested in. You know where they learned that from?
Where?
From the President of the United States. Because whenever they're
Good
going to
point.
cut the national budget, you know what the first thing is that they cut?
Things that people enjoy.
Social Security.
Not only that, they closed down the national parks.
Yeah.
Good evening, Your Honor. Let me see, what are we? LOT.
Okay, Dennis.
What's up, young lady?
Okay, let's see. I think maybe the answer to your proposed question at the beginning of the show was Zach, maybe?
Nope,
It wasn't Zach?
nope, no
Well, that sounds like
lollipop,
something
no
he'd say.
lollipop for you.
Well.
You want to take another stab?
No,
You're headed in kind of the right direction.
Well, I don't know.
Don't you
what
think
you were
that's kind
saying-
of a stupid statement, no?
Oh, yeah. It's like when the kids got up there and said something about, taking money from the firefighters and the policemen.
Oh, speaking of which, Karen, that was the public hearing for the overall budget, school and city?
Right, but then
Okay,
mostly the
did you
school.
go to that?
Yeah, we went to it.
Did Larry go to it? Did you go to that? The town hall meeting they had for the budget?
Monday night.
No, I turned the TV on to watch it, and I had a wonderful picture of somebody's back, and absolutely no sound.
So Karen,
Yes.
how many parents or taxpayers were there? Not excluding the kids, because I had heard a rumor that it was mostly kids that were there.
It was mostly teachers and kids.
Yeah.
The interesting thing was that a lot of the kids that spoke, and Cheryl and I didn't catch it till about the third or fourth one, but when they gave their address, they gave 490 Jefferson, which is the school, which leads me to believe that most of these kids don't live in this town, and parents don't pay taxes to this town.
Well, that's the way it is every time it's voting time for the budgets. You get people out there campaigning for an increase to the school, and a lot of these people don't even live here, and a lot of them don't. A lot of them work here, but they don't live here. So
Right.
of course they're going to push for an increase.
And of
It
course,
isn't
one of the
coming out of
things-
their pocket.
One of the things somebody was saying was, well, these parents come into town for activities and they spend money in this town. No, they don't.
No, they
come in
don't.
for the activity and they leave.
That's
But
like-
in the meantime, about probably a third to half of the teachers, when they gave their addresses, were out of town.
Yeah.
My question is, how many of the entire school board and administration staff, what percentage don't even live in New London?
Well, as far as the school board goes, they all have to live in New London.
I know the school board, but the
I know what you're saying.
teachers, the janitors, the administration, the aides, everybody.
You know, we
All
have a
those
lot
people
of.
that get a paycheck from New London. What's the percentage that doesn't live in this town?
I bet it's very high.
Yeah.
I mean,
The other thing was, you were saying a few minutes ago about years ago when they were cutting back on school funding, and I'm from the West Coast, but I remember it. They cut, the athletics, the sports teams.
Yeah.
They cut the music. They cut the bands. They cut, life skills, home economics, woodworking, things that people could actually do and make a living at.
exactly.
They chose to. And now, so they cut the money because we don't have the money for this, Now they want to build schools, and you've heard me preach this since when they first started talking about magnet schools. Now you're going to build a school to do exactly that thing that 25 years ago you cut out of the system.
That's what I was just saying to Larry. What's going to happen this time when they have to cut?
Yeah.
Maybe it's payback. Maybe the karma will come around and administration will have to get cut.
Yeah.
Because if you cut the teachers and you don't have the teachers to teach the students what they want to be in life, then, they ain't going to be taught.
Well, and again, how many students enter college with one major, and if they graduate, by the time they graduate, they've changed their major 3-4 times?
I'm starting to think that we should have probably taken a different path, and instead of an all-magnet school district, created an all-trade school district. And not just your basic trades like carpentry, electrical, plumbing, that stuff, but there's other trades. There's computer trades. There's the science and technology school is a pretty good idea. But if they had looked at creating schools that would create jobs where people could make a living, to me, would have made a lot more sense than creating schools where they can, where either through the parents or what the kid at the time might think, their fantasy. You know, 'cause a lot of it's fantasy.
To me, until you get into high school, it should be a well-rounded education for all. When you get into high school, yes, there's certain subjects that everybody should have to take, and then the subjects should be available that may lead you in a path to science or to math or to music or to what. High school I can deal with. And
Well,
then,
high school,
you know, because you, at least in high school, you're starting to think about what you want to do.
yeah, and then that would be the time to put some kind of package together for the high school kids if they want to go to college for something. If they think they want to go to college for a certain thing, if they're pretty mindset on it, then that's when you should put together some kind of package for them to help them lead into that in college.
Right.
Not this. I try to get around this whole magnet thing, school. I try to wrap my head around it, but the more and more I think about it and I see what's going on in our city, our state, our country, it's not making any sense to me.
Well, do you know why they started the magnet schools?
I would assume money.
No.
What?
Wasn't money at all. Before magnet schools, where was our school listed in the state?
At the bottom.
167 from the bottom?
Yeah.
You know, two from the bottom?
Yeah, we were 167 out of 169, something like that.
All right. They wanted to bring that up. And with the students we have in town, it was impossible. So their idea was to bring smarter kids in from out of town to bring up the school average. Then we wouldn't be on the rock bottom of the list.
Does anybody know where we are now?
Now, the idea was it would bring up the average, and instead of being 167, you know, from the bottom, we'd be maybe 160 or maybe eventually 150. But no matter how many kids, smart kids you bring in from out of town, how does that help the kids that are here? Absolutely
Well,
no
I
help
agree.
whatsoever.
None.
Right.
So the magnet schools, as far as the kids in New London are concerned, are absolutely useless.
I understand
Or-
what you're saying, and it sounds like a way of shuffling money around, and you know. But I've seen every superintendent since I've been here. It's maybe 3, maybe now 4. Not so much the one we have now, but the past ones. They came in, and they said they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and the next thing you know, they were saying how well our grades went up in 10th grade reading. Ooh la la. But you're not being paid to bring up just one grade. You're being paid to bring up the whole school system.
Yeah.
At least that's my understanding.
Yeah.
So you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, because they
And
can't.
I don't think they got to find another way. Just like you said, look at the kids in our city, our kids,
Yeah.
and wrap that whole thing around our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna authorize $168 million for a magnet school project, and only a certain amount of your kids are going to be able to get into it, now I know we're going to get calls that they all got positions, and we've heard other stories on that. But this is, you know, what kind of? I went to a trade school, and I had my trade that I took, and the educational part of that was the minimum.
Yeah.
They didn't teach you to get ready to go to college.
Yeah.
Not just enough to pass you. And that was it. And we got another call.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
Gonna
thank you,
hang
Karen.
up. All right, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Call again.
Good evening, you're on LOT.
Dennis, this is Carly.
Hey, Carl, what's up, my friend?
Well, my friend Tommy Maynard he's up in Yale,
Oh,
and he's coming along. He'll be there probably for another 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm trying to start a fundraiser for him. On June 17th at Ocean Beach Park, there'll be a spaghetti and meatball dinner.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock it starts, so. You there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm listening to your call.
Okay, all right, so I just want to get word out there that we're having a fundraiser for Tommy. Here's a guy here that's done so much for the people in the city, for the community. It's unbelievable what he's done. He's done all kinds of things for the people in the city. And he's not doing too good right now, and I just hope a lot of people will show up for the dinner to support him. Because he supported the city, and I'll just let it go at that.
Do you, you're gonna be needing some volunteers, I would assume?
It's all set up. We've got, everything's all set that way, you know.
Okay, what's
Already
it,
took care of all that.
is it gonna be tickets or just what people?
Oh, yeah,
can-
we're selling tickets. Yeah, they're $20 a piece. It starts on, at 6 o'clock at night. And, we'll have raffles, and we'll more than likely do a 50-50 raffle, so,
Can,
and,
okay, where will you be able to get tickets, Carl?
I have them, and let me give you my number, okay? I'm gonna give you my cell phone number. That way there, if anybody wants to call me, they can. And I
Okay.
appreciate it. I hope they blow my phone off the wall, okay?
Well, right now, the phone's lighting up.
Okay. Let's see, it's gonna be, my phone number is gonna be 860-460-7207.
All righty. All right, I'll get other people to
I'll
announce it on the
repeat it, and
shows.
then I'll hang up, okay?
All right, it's
Okay.
860-460-7207.
You got it. Thank
All
you.
right,
I
Carl, thank you
appreciate
for
it.
calling. Tell Tommy when you
Okay.
see him I said hello, and I'm praying for him.
No problem, brother. Take
All right,
care.
thank you. Good evening, you're on LOT.
Hey, Dennis. It's Eric. Listen, we had at our meeting on Tuesday, there was a discussion about
You mean on Wednesday?
Wednesday. You're right. That's right. That's right. You didn't call me on Tuesday. Anyway, so the Wednesday meeting, it was discussed about the number of students in the Norwalk School District. Total somewhere in the neighborhood of like 13,000, and that's when Mr. Or Dr. Rivera was at Norwich, and he was getting paid $250,000 for his salary.
Yeah.
And he comes to New London, and the student total is something like 3,300. And his salary is, he accepts $191,000, which is, what is that, 27%, 28% less?
I'm not good with percentages.
Well, whatever it is, for his pay, and his school district is only 25% total of what Norwalk was. Now, nothing personally against Dr. Rivera. I'm sure he's a very bright person. He's been decorated, I guess, Norwich, the Superintendent of the Year one year or something like that. But the salary for the superintendent before Dr. Rivera was $156,000 plus benefits. Now, I don't think $191,000 in salary plus benefits is justified in New London because we don't have the numbers. And Norwalk is a lot more productive and a lot richer than New London. So every one of the superintendents that you said, and we've talked about this before, has come in, and all they ever done is hire more administration. Now, I'm not taking away any of the qualifications from the administrators. What I'm upset about is that this town continues to support overpaid administrators. And nobody ever seems to get it in this town that New London cannot afford it. And maybe Larry was right by bringing in all these students from out of district is bringing our numbers up. But what does that say for the students in New London alone? Like they can't cut the work? I mean,
Well,
this is-
it's not saying,
it's ridiculous.
it's not saying anything about the students in New London. All it's saying is that, look at the increase in our grades and stuff, but unfortunately, they're not our students. I mean, there are some, but the majority of them,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you're right. We've always said that this is not everyone, and there are some.
it's not
very
our
bright-
school, it's not our students that are increasing. It's the school system and the students from out of town that are showing the better grades. But if it's not helping the students that live here, it's a shell game.
Yeah.
And I
So I
just don't
said.
think that
Yeah.
this region can justify more magnet schools at the cost that it's going to be when we don't know what we're going to get as reimbursement from the state. I sent you some papers that were sent to me by Jim Loziotis regarding numbers, and we're not losing that much money from the state, or what they're saying they're going to give us, according to 2015 or 2016. I mean, we've actually gotten, if you look at those numbers, and I'll go through them on Tuesday again, like a 50% increase. I mean, there was 12 million. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was 12 million and change that we got for 2015-16. But with 2016-17, we're going to get 13 million or something like that, and that's a huge increase. And we really just reduced it. This is cost education, the education cost services.
You know, they could lose $200,000 in the school budget from the state, and the fear factor that they would put among the people, on the people in this city. Next thing you know, it seemed like we'd be losing $2 million.
The people in this town have to realize they can't just give carte blanche to the school board every time they want more and more money, because there's no justification.
Caller, hang on, I'll get to you in a minute.
It's going to the kids.
I know you. Well, you know, you're speaking to the choir here.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I know, and that's why you and I are so fed up that we don't get any changes in this town.
Eric,
and,
I got a
don't know.
question for you.
I don't know what the answer is.
I
don't know what the answer is anymore.
Okay, I got a question for you real quick before we go to the next caller. Who made this quote? It says, "I see it not so much as spending, but investing in the city." And we're talking about the school budget. There is much waste in the city budget. The council should be looking at where it can cut spending. Who made that quote?
I think that was somebody from the city council.
No.
No?
Nope. All right.
Did you know, or you?
Oh yeah, I got it right in front of me. I know exactly who said it.
I know too.
Oh yeah, he knows too. All right, Eric, you got anything else?
You're not going to tell me who it is?
No, later. You're gonna have to watch till the end of the show.
Okay.
All right. Call back if you want. I want to get this caller that's online.
All right. Take it easy.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
Bye-bye.
Good evening. You're on LOT.
Oh, good evening. I'm just calling to find out what happened to Tommy Majors, because he was physically in my office yesterday, and I talked to him. What happened?
I don't know. Carl had mentioned something to me a little while back about.
Is she saying Tommy Major or Maynard?
Oh no, it's Tommy Maynard.
Oh, Maynard.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Okay, thanks.
All righty.
Okay, I got the name wrong.
Yep, I've done
heard
that
it
before too.
incorrectly. All right. Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Have a good evening.
Tommy Maynard, who is, some people don't know it, but he's John Maynard's brother, who was a city councilor for a while. And I guess he's pretty sick. I had heard Carl had mentioned it to me, what was the matter, but I'm not sure exactly, so I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But folks, this man has done a lot for this city. He's been like Carl's right-hand man. If Carl calls him up and says, hey, we're going out and we're picking up garbage on the street, the man's right there. And the thing is, he doesn't even live in New London. He's a Waterford man. And yet he comes to the city because he loves the city. So when you have people that live in the city that say they don't have the time, they can't do this, they can't do that. When you have people that are, on some kind of assistance in this town, but yet they can't get up off the couch and go out and, pick up around their own house or something like this, it kind of puts things in perspective. You got someone that's willing to come here and do these kind of things, and yet the very people that live in this city, some of them, not all of them, but the ones that are capable, that live in this city, can't go out and pick up around their house. So, that's probably someone's gonna start yelling at me, because we got another call. Remember what we were talking about?
Well, let me see. Eric was talking about Norwalk having, I think he said
13,000 students.
So rough thinking quickly, to me that sounds like the town has 100,000 people. So they could, there's a lot more taxes there, so they can give him a lot bigger pay.
Good evening, you're on LOT.
Yes, hello. Watching your show. I'm just taking a guess. Was that a quote by Ted Curtin?
No, but you're getting warmer.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to say, I moved out of New London. 20 years ago, and
an escapee.
And I bet you regret it, right?
Oh yeah, right. My taxes were so high that, and I'll tell you what, they need to start tearing down those buildings. There are so many dangerous buildings in New London, and a Cronin building on State Street, and a whole bunch of them along there are really dangerous buildings.
But what would you put in place of them? That's part of the, I don't want to say the charm of New London, I
really don't know, but those buildings, I work construction, they're beyond repair.
You really think so?
Well, look what they did to the Mohegan Hotel. The elevators were broke for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that's part of that reason is because the city doesn't, or the people that own the buildings don't put more, put anything back into them. If you took care of some of these problems 10 years ago, it wouldn't be costing you as much now, right?
Yeah. Well, it's hard to say. But anyways, with the taxes in New London, here's what I think they should do.
All right.
Go back to partial volunteer fire department. They've got way too many paid firemen for a small town like that. And they can't afford it,
No, a lot of people have said that.
Yeah, and that thing with the Board of Education, they have got so much money in the the managers and stuff like that, assistant managers and whatever the titles they give themselves.
Yeah.
That is like they could cut that in half, and would not even miss it.
No, I agree with you. I think it's doable.
And you know what? It's the day paper never takes a stand or says what the true story is.
No.
The day paper always puts a different twist on it, so nobody knows what's really going on. But,
well, that's true. And the people that do take the time to try to find out what's going on, and sometimes it's not easy. There aren't enough.
Well, here's another problem. I looked at a house on Ocean Avenue that was selling for about $140,000. The taxes on that house were over $8,000. Okay.
There's no incentive. Our mill rate in this city is just growing and growing, and it's growing faster than what people are making for money, and it's going to come to a head.
Yeah.
It's going to. You can slice and dice it any way you want, but it's going to come to a head.
Well, here's what you're looking at now. You say you buy a house in New London, okay? You got high taxes, you got a high water bill, and if it has electric heat, how are you going to have any money left for a mortgage? You're not. I mean, you'd have to be making like $100,000 a year. How many jobs around here are paying that?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's not enough jobs even around here to support moving to this city.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing about EB. They should try and take care of EB, because EB has a gigantic facility over in Rhode Island, and they could just move the whole thing right over there and they would save a fortune. Their taxes are nothing over there. The pay and benefits to the employees is way lower. So, they better.
Yeah, but
try.
as far as taking care of EB, I say up to a certain point. I mean, you can't,
Yeah.
You need them, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'll ever move back to New London, but you never know.
Let us know when you do.
Okay. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to watch the end of your show here. All right.
Thank you.
Make me an offer. You can move back tomorrow.
Good evening. You're on LOT.
Dennis, tell me who the quote was again. Tell me the quote.
Here's the quote.
Oh.
It's about the school board. Well, it's not about the school board. It's about the school budget. And it says, I see it not so much as spending, but investing in the city. There is much waste in the city budget. The council should be looking at where to cut spending.
Who is that, Catala?
No.
It's not Jason Catala?
No.
You better tell me by the time this show ends.
How many guesses are you going to give him?
Well,
I don't
until
know.
somebody
Okay.
gets it.
It hit me all of a sudden, but I guess it's not Catala. Okay, actually, Catala said there was too much waste in,
He did.
administration.
He did. I bet he's having a good time on the Board of Ed now.
Okay, I bet you he is.
All righty, Eric.
Take care.
Okay, so
Offhand, kind of quick in my head, this 3.5% increase in the grand list, I believe we should get $2 million in taxes. Now, how much was the money in figures did they want added to the school budget? Wasn't it less than $2 million?
I think it was, it was less than $2 million.
Less than
I
$2
made a
million.
mistake at a city council when I spoke for LOT. I said 2.5 million when it was 2.5% increase.
Yeah.
What it is now, I have no idea.
Yeah, but I would think this increase in the grand list should more than cover the money they want for the school. So why are they raising the mill rate?
I've seen, and when I first saw the grand list total, this
Yeah.
was a few years or so ago,
Yeah.
I kept looking at it thinking, there must have been a mistake because there's too many zeros,
No.
And I remember talking to you about it,
Yeah.
about at coffee. Is it really in the billions?
Yeah, no,
So why
it's
do
1.5 billion.
That's in the billions.
Yeah, okay.
All right, hey, I'll take the $500 million if you don't want to put it in there.
Yeah.
And so I wonder, and now there's approximately a $2 million increase. Where's that money going?
Yeah.
And there's been other increases, and so the money, they're getting some kind of money.
Yeah.
Are they being transparent about it to the people of New London?
Now,
Where are they spending it?
since you brought up the point about 1.2 billion, that's the grand list. Well, now it's actually a little bit higher than that. Way back in, let's say the year 2000, the grand list then was 839 million. So there's close to 700 million increase. Well, 50 million of that was EB, so there's still $650 million increase in the grand list. Now, no, I want to know what made 650 million? What made it?
I don't know.
Did they do? Where's all the development to show that they made the value of 650 million? So
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely nothing has been built in all that time. So that 650 million is only how much they increased the property values.
That's what it's got to
See,
be.
they did it. They did it. They made the value. So
But
it's
Larry,
make believe words.
we got 4 minutes. That that can't keep happening. It's going to crash on itself, and this city is going to be like Jeff Suntup would say. It's going to be looking at.
As long as the people keep paying that extra tax and not standing up and hollering, it won't happen.
I got a little bit of information I found, and it will probably be online in the day paper shortly if it isn't. It already is actually. But you remember, I was telling you this. There was a gentleman some time back that got arrested, and he was from like Jamaica. He was visiting his family here, and they tased him twice when he was in a jail cell, and he died.
Yeah.
Well, his family is now, and I don't mean to laugh at that situation, but it's just ironic. This is the way things go in this city. The family of the man who died in police custody is filing a $54 million lawsuit against the city and the hospital. So you know right off the bat, no matter how that turns out, it's going to cost us $500,000. Every time we turn around in this city, somebody is suing us.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were a lawyer that your main job was suing people, you should be moving to New London. So how do we get ahead? We never get ahead. I'm supposed to be talking about all nice, positive, kumbaya stuff. I can't do it. I want to, but I can't do it.
Are you going to give up your secret? You got 2 minutes.
Okay, my secret is the man that did this quote, or said this quote is, I see it not so much as spending, but investing in the city. There is much waste in the city budget. The council should be looking at where to cut spending. That was Dr. Rivera's statement. Now, the reason I found this funny when I first read it was, we don't know what kind of spending waste they have in the school system because they don't have to tell us. So, according to him, there's more waste in our city government than there is in the school because they need more money. If some of you out there don't find this ironic, I just don't know. I really don't know. The man comes into the city, and I don't know him personally, but I'm not sitting here talking about how nice of a guy he is. I'm looking at the fact that when I heard about him coming here, he was coming here to help the city. He was coming here because I guess he was born here, grew up here. He wanted to come back and help the children of the city of New London. Well, if you're coming back and you've already probably retired and you're getting a hell of a pension from one town, and you're coming in here and the last superintendent made $150-something thousand, and you come in here and you want $190-something thousand, you're not helping the children of New London. As a matter of fact, you're taking away from the children of New London. If you really feel that in your heart, sir, then you need to drop your pay back down to $150-something. It's not like you're going to starve. And with that, I guess we could say goodnight unless you got something else. And that was my own personal opinion too, sir. It wasn't Lot's opinion. It was mine.
So, well, I guess we're about to, said you have a whole minute yet.
No, you have a whole minute. I know there's nothing you can say that's only going to take a minute.
No, I'm all done. I still don't understand.
Folks, keep listening in because as Carl Lee called in, Tommy Maynard.
When
Tommy Maynard is at Yale right now. We don't know much about it. It can't be good. It could turn out good. But anyways, they're going to have a spaghetti and meatball dinner at Ocean Beach on June 17th. It's $20 a ticket. There's going to be raffles. And if you need any tickets, you can call Carl Lee at 860-460-7207. And thank you very much for tuning in, and good night, and we'll see you soon.